Hello and welcome to the channel. Ijaw elder statesman Edwin Clark has blasted former President Muhammadu Buhari and his All Progressives Congress government, as well as Delta State Governor N1.7 Okowa, for embezzling state money up to the tune of a whopping 1.7 trillion naira. Details next. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Clark criticizes APC government, says Okowa wasted 1.7 trillion naira in 5 years. Elder statesman and national leader of the Ijaw people of Delta State, Chief Edwin Clark, has criticized the past administration of the All Progressives Congress APC under the watch of former President Muhammadu Buhari, as well as the Delta State government under Senator N1.7 Okowa. Clark said the Buhari's administration plunged Nigeria into a more difficult situation, while Okowa could not account for the over 1.7 trillion naira paid to the state by the federal government from 2017 to 2022. He said the people of Niger Delta were suffering, and it was an irony because they produced the largest chunk of oil in the country. Clark, who spoke yesterday on the morning show of Arise News Channel, the broadcast arm of these day newspapers, said the people of Delta State had become strangers in their home and poorer than what they were when their forefathers were alive. I decided to employ a lawyer who went to the Federal Accountant General's office to obtain the certified copy of all the amount of money paid to Delta State from 2007 to December 2022. I got a letter from the Accountant General's office listing everything. What was paid to Delta State came to 1,760-something billion naira, but Okowa could not account for the money before leaving office, Clark said. He said based on the information he had about the financial misappropriation in the state, he had to write Okowa a second letter and copy the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. We cannot be cheated. Governors are now wealthier than their states, Clark added. He accused Okowa of owning a bank, and he also has 13 private companies, which he said the former governor cannot deny. Okowa embezzled the state's money, which was not accounted for in his annual budget, he further said. Today, our schools are not well equipped. There are no teachers. We have no light or water. We have loads of fishermen, but today, a large number of fish are dying and floating about. So we are left with frozen fish in our Niger Delta, which is an abomination. The roads are also nothing to write home about, he lamented. Fielding questions regarding the letter he wrote requesting to know how much money was spent in Delta State, he said it was important he asked the question about how monies were allocated and spent in the state. He, however, said the answer they gave him was that they spent 5 billion naira in paying pensioners in the state, which he said was questionable. The 13% derivation fund comes from the Federation account to oil-producing communities through state governments as contained in Section 162(2) of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution as amended. Mr. Clark, considered a leader and influential voice in South Nigeria, leads the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF. He said he and others had been blaming the federal government for the lack of development in the South without knowing that the governors in the region have been stealing the money for the region's development. The immediate past governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, in November 2022 revealed that the federal government had paid a backlog of oil derivation funds to the oil-producing states in the country. Shortly after Mr. Wike's revelation, Garba Shehu, the spokesperson to then-President Muhammadu Buhari, released details of the funds released to 9 oil-producing states, with Delta State said to have received the highest allocation totaling 296.63 billion naira. The former federal commissioner said he was dissatisfied with the former governor's response and he had to hire a lawyer who obtained from the Accountant General's office the certified copy of all the derivation funds paid to the state from 2007 to December 2022. The PANDEF leader said the law establishing the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, the DESOPADEC, noted that 50% of the 13% should be given to the DESOPADEC. However, the governor held the whole funds. DESOPADEC is an interventionist agency established to manage a 13% oil derivation fund to drive infrastructural development of the oil-producing communities in the state. Instead of paying 50% of the 1.760 trillion naira to the DESOPADEC as provided by the law, which is automatic, Okowa now held the 13% fund, the entire money dishing out instrumentally and approving every contract the DESOPADEC had awarded, he said. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. Mr. Clark said he wrote a second letter to Mr. Okowa and also copied the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, complaining that the governor had floated a private commercial bank, Premium Bank, which he allegedly used to lodge all the derivation funds. I also mentioned in the letter that Okowa has 13 companies. I told him he put the 13% derivation fund into these 13 companies and let him deny it. So, Okowa has embezzled our money. It is not even accounted for in his annual budget, Mr. Clark stated. When reminded by one of the program anchors, Ruben Abatsi, that Mr. Okowa had denied ownership of the Premium Bank, Mr. Clark said the former governor lied, insisting that he knew the bank's history. Mr. Okowa was the running mate to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, who hails from Adamawa, a state in northeast Nigeria. Mr. Clark accused Mr. Okowa of betraying the southern Nigerians and people from Middle Belt by accepting to be Atiku's running mate and spending Delta State's fund on their campaigns despite a decision by Southern and Middle Belt leaders against the North-producing president in 2023. But he, Okowa, violated it. He was very happy going about as Atiku's running mate, claiming that he is an Igbo man, Mr. Clark said, explaining that Mr. Okowa's alignment with Atiku, a Northerner, made them oppose their ambition. When contacted by Premium Times on Wednesday, Charles Aniagwu, who served as the Commissioner for Information under Mr. Okowa's administration, denied the allegations. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.